Well, hello there, beauties. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a clown tutorial. Yay! My first ever Halloween tutorial. It's very inexpensive and very simple. Everything I found for my special effects was found at the Halloween store. So the first clip you saw was me priming my eyelids with a shadow base. Now I'm putting some tape on so that way I can get a nice sharp cutting line. I'm going in with a taupey brown right now just to act as a transition shade. This isn't really needed, but I, like to be a little extra, so I decided to do it. Now I'm going in with just a deeper shade and almost cutting into that crease ever so slightly. Again, this isn't going to be seen and isn't really necessary, but I like to have a little bit of a transition there so that way the black that we're going to go in with next blends out. So the reason for this tape is so I could be extra messy when it comes to this black. I want to make it almost look like a cat eye wing without having to do any sort of wing. So you're just going to see me going back and forth between a few brushes just to blend out the black. And also I'm struggling with my eyelashes, as you can see. Here you will see me going in with a warm red color just to add a little bit more dimension and depth to the crease and the eye look in general, just because I didn't want it to be a basic, boring black wing. Here I'm going in with a very shimmery cream color. I just decided to do this because I wanted to keep the eye pretty light and just focusing on that wing. And removing the tape, and look at how sharp that is. I can cut a bitch. Yes. So I'm just going to repeat the same exact steps on the opposite side and also remove the tape. Moving on to the bottom lash line, I'm going to basically do the same thing I did on the top to the bottom. I'm going to take black and smudge it all along my bottom lash line. And then as I move into the inner corner, I am going to use that same warm red to add a little bit more spookiness to my lash line. And of course, blending it out, because just because it's a Halloween tutorial doesn't mean that I have to stop my blending. You know, blend, blend, blend. And now I'm just going to go in with a little bit of a black gel eyeliner just to add some more depth to the eye. And then we're going to start off by priming our face. You definitely want to prime your face if you're going to be out at a party or some sort of thing, so all your makeup stays on. Here I am buffing my Josie Maran Radiance Foundation all over my face because it is the lightest foundation that I do have, and clowns are usually pretty pale. So I'm just going to buff this all over, and for some reason it wasn't really cooperating with me, so you'll notice I do go in to blend more with a beauty blender after this big kabuki brush. As I'm blending it out with the beauty blender, I do feel like I lost a little bit of the coverage, so I'm going to go in with another coat of foundation just to make it a little extra full coverage. Again, just because clowns usually are pretty opaque and white, but I didn't want to go with the typical white face for the clown, but I did want full coverage and pretty pale. I'm going to do a little bit of concealer underneath my eyes just to brighten them up because my bags are showing through. And now I'm just going to go touch up that red underneath my eye just to fix what the concealer had covered, so I can intensify that just a little bit more. Now I'm going to set my under eye with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and we will move on to the next best step of all. I have to first remove my foundation from where I want to put the liquid latex, just because the liquid latex won't stick as well if there's foundation there. So I'm going to remove that, and then we're going to go ahead and put a thin layer of liquid latex. Again, like I said, I got this from the Halloween store, so you could just, you know, go cheap like I did, or you could be cool and get like the Mayron and Krylon and stuff like that. But no, I just wanted to spend as little as possible because the normal person isn't going to have those professional brands in their home. So I put a very thin layer of this on, and then I'm actually going to use another household item, toilet paper. You just want to put this on top of that wet liquid latex. Make sure it's not in your mouth. And then after you do this, you are going to go over it again with another layer of liquid latex. Make sure that you are making these layers of liquid latex pretty thin, just so that way it is easier to dry and it doesn't take like eons and eons to dry, which is super annoying because I did try to do this on my arm the other day as a practice run and it took forever to dry because I made the liquid latex way too thick. And don't worry if your toilet paper kind of breaks up on you because we're totally going to put another layer on, and even if we weren't, it's not a big deal because we are going to start to rip into this to create the Chelsea smile. Okay, as you see here, we're going to go over it with a little bit more foundation. That way it starts to blend into our skin a little bit better. Although, obviously, it's not perfect, but we are going to go in with blood in different colors, so it doesn't really matter. Then you always want to make sure that you're going to set this liquid latex foundation creation because the liquid latex will become super sticky if you do not, and then you won't really be able to work with it. So I just set my entire face actually because I felt like that foundation was just making me a little too dewy, which is I guess the point of that foundation, but that wasn't the look I was going for. So now that it is set, be very, very careful, and you're going to go in with either tweezers or scissors. You're going to start to make a little hole and then just start to rip through that liquid latex and tissue layer that we made. Be very careful again because you don't want to like cut yourself or hurt your skin or anything. As you see, I tried to go in with scissors and I was like, oh my god, no, I'll probably cut my face off. So I just continue to go along with these tweezers, poking and pulling. It looks like I'm like yanking my skin, but I truly am not. Anyways, go all the way down, or as far down as you want the smile to go, and then you can use your fingers to pull it apart. And repeat the same steps on the other side. Next, I'm going to go in with this 3 color wheel that I got, again, at the Halloween store. It is just got a brown, a black, and a red. So currently I am using the first layer, which is going to be red, just to fill in that cut to make it look like it's your, like, skin's ripped open because it's going to be bloody and disgusting. And after I do this, I'm then going to mix red and brown together to make more of like a dirty, gross, kind of almost dry blood. That way, you can create the illusion of depth. And I'm going to kind of stick that closer to the corners and not so much in the middle like I did with this red. So I'm using a finer brush. And all of these paint brushes that I'm using are all from Michael's. I bought them today because there was no way I was ruining my beautiful makeup brushes. So I just bought these very cheap pack of brushes. So now I'm going in with the black. And the black is just going to go right in like the deepest areas. So you can always pull the liquid latex and tissue layer back a little bit more to make it look more deep, or, you know, however you like the smile to look. But I was just kind of winging it here. So now I'm going to take that same exact color that we used on our lid and our under eye, that red color, and I'm just going to go kind of around where the liquid latex meets my skin just to kind of make it look very irritated. I didn't want to go too crazy on this shading because I didn't want to start to look like zombie or just like overdone, so this was just basically to make it look like the skin was, you know, like I said, irritated. Right now I'm going to go in with some more black eyeshadow now just to set that black that we did, maybe add some depth to it. Now this was the hardest part for me. I started out just using the black from that like cream color palette. It was so difficult, so I had to add a little bit of Fix Plus to it to help water it down and to continue to create this line. Again, super, super, super difficult. I don't really know what I could have used. Probably just like water activated paints would have been better, because these cream paints were pretty difficult to work with and I could not get a straight line to save my life. So as you see, I added a little point to the end of that triangle, and I'm going to start this triangle up here. This one was even more difficult for me, and I had to actually go in and clean up with concealer, which I did leave that clip in here because I just wanted to show you guys like this was not perfect, and no one's is really going to be perfect, and if you mess up, you know, that's what concealer or makeup remover is for. So you'll see that I do have to go in with some concealer and a Q-tip to clean it up. Once I have cleaned up this monstrosity, I am going to do another one of the little triangles underneath my eye on the opposite eye, along with a little dot. The part I am the most excited for, the blood. So I'm just taking a paintbrush and putting the blood inside of the cuts to start. This is where that black eyeshadow and black paint really comes in handy, because when you put the blood over those dark spots, it's gonna look really, really dark and dry and disgusting. Add some more texture here. I'm using a sponge that I cut some pieces out of, so that way it was a little more textured and, you know, organic kind of looking. And I just cut this off a paintbrush just because I couldn't be bothered to like do a real sponge. But I'm just using my finger to blend out some of those splotchy spots. In this next clip, you're gonna see me trying to attempt to flick blood all over my face. Guys, let me tell you, this did not work to save my life. I don't know how people do this. It actually splattered all over my vanity and not even once on my face. So I'm just kind of messily throwing this together, which is obviously the point because you want to look really bloody. At this point, I thought the makeup was still a little too boring, so I wanted to add a little bloody nose like our clown got, I don't know, dragged by a car or something and their nose ripped off or something of the sort. So I'm doing the exact same thing, 2 layers. I'm doing the liquid latex, then the tissue, and then the liquid latex, and then another layer of tissue. Here, I'm just messing up my hair because you know our clown has to have some messed up hair, especially she looks like she went through quite a bit. So I'm pretty sure her hair is not going to be nice and clean and put together. So let's tease it up. I'm just using a brush. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of blood all over my lips just to kind of give it more of a I've been bleeding from my mouth seeing someone just slit my cheeks open kind of look, instead of the bare no lips type of situation. Okay, now same exact situation. Go ahead with your tweezers and start making a little slit and opening that nose up so you can, you know, get it to look gory. And don't forget to make sure you set it with your foundation and also a setting powder, and then we can go ahead right in with the same exact cream paints that we use. We obviously want to go in with the red first to make that the bloody spot, and then again I'm going to go in with that brown and red mixture and a little bit of the black in the deepest portions of the nose to add a little bit more depth and dimension and look like the nose is really ripped. And then let's throw some blood on to complete the look, and the gruesome clown is complete. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Also, please subscribe if you have not already done so. And follow me on all my social media. The links are down in the description bar below. One last thing, please leave comments for any future videos you'd like to see. I hope you guys have a great Halloween, and until next time, bye! Hey beauties! Today I'm going to be sharing with you a collective haul. I don't know if you follow me on Snapchat. If you do not, then you should. It's right here.